Welcome all. Welcome to the first video in the series of Life Science Freshers Pharma playlist. Now, this is a playlist basically created for the fresher people who are working, means who are studying or just have completed their graduation or post graduation. By life science, I mean any field like any medical fraternity like MBBS, BDS, BHMS, BUMS, or pharmacy, or nursing, or physiotherapy, or any kind of medical allied fields. Apart from that, the people who are studying in BSc or MSc, be it chemistry field, be it botany, zoology, or industrial chemistry, or any kind of BSc, MSc which is related to life sciences, all those students can benefit from this session and this playlist also. So we will discuss basically what are the career options in pharma industry for these students. So to move forward, I'll discuss certain pharma career options which are there and basically related to the corporate office jobs. So slowly and steadily as we move forward, first let me list what are the different departments in the pharma industry where you can look for your career to start. So to start with, in the next slide, if you see, there are possible career options. I have listed few, there are many, but these are the few options where you can try and land into the corporate office jobs. Why I am saying corporate office jobs? Because basically there is a work-life balance into the corporate office jobs. If you see, once you are into the field, it might happen that you have to work some in certain conditions you have to work some long hours, but in comparison to the field or the plant job, if you see, there is quite balanced work-life balance, and also you will get hybrid working options or work from home options, in which you can say like in some days you have to work from office and some days you can work from home. So all these benefits are there for corporate office jobs. So moving forward, if you see, I have listed pharmacovigilance, medical writing, clinical research, regulatory affairs, research and development, as we say R&D, QA and QC, that is quality assurance and quality control, intellectual property rights, or the patent agents who are working to protect the patents, supply chain and logistics, the people who are working here, they try to maintain the supply of medicines into the market continuously so that it can reach to the patients on time. Manufacturing and production, these are the people who are working in the manufacture of medicines in the plants and all. Sales and marketing, there are different people working in sales and marketing. There is field job in which MRs go to the doctors and pitch in their products, whatever new medicines are coming into the market or whatever medicines are there for their company. Apart from that, in the corporate office, if you see, from marketing team, there is PMT team, there is medical affair teams who work on preparing the brochures and all, so that can be presented to the MRs, or they can be trained and they can look into to the doctors and pitch in their products as well. So moving forward, what I will do, that I'll go one by one with each of the field. To start with, I'll start from the pharmacovigilance or the drug safety. So as you see, the term pharmacovigilance or drug safety, it means that you have to, this department basically works day in and day out to maintain the safety of the drugs to the patients. They look as if any new side effects are coming into the market. So basically this field is related to the study of side effects and to minimize its effects on the patient so that the patient could not be harmed. So by minimizing, I say, like suppose if there is some risk associated with the medicine, like you know that captopril is a famous drug which used to cause cough. So we have certain minimization measures for those as to what to do when patients suffer serious cough from the captopril. Or paracetamol, a common drug, you know, it is used to cause hepatotoxicity. Likewise, there are many other medicines. Nowadays, medicine field is involving a lot. So there are novel therapies now, so which is causing lots of side effects also along with them. So how to manage them? So this is overall the pharmacovigilance field, in which you learn as to what new side effects are evolving or what are the existing risks associated with the drug safety. Risk, by risk I mean the side effects, and how you can minimize those, how you can teach or educate the prescribers, the pharmacists, to maintain safe use of the drugs. So this is overall in nutshell what pharmacovigilance department is responsible for. Now moving on to as to what are the different departments within pharmacovigilance. So first, as you see, there is ICSR. So ICSR is basically individual case safety report. In this department, the people deal with the individual patient case safety reports. So whatever cases they get, there is a database, safety database, which is Argus, RSG, Scepter could be there. As per the pharma company regulations, they take the safety database prescription and they do safety database, and they database all the cases there. So that you will come to know once you are into the further, when I will discuss as to what is the ICSR and all those things. There will be a dedicated slides or dedicated sessions, you can say, in this playlist, where you can learn about ICSR. After ICSR, when you have database individual case safety reports, then you have to cumulatively assess those ICSR cases or individual patient cases. So all those things are done in aggregate reporting department. So they basically aggregate report what does, like there is a time period, be it 6 months, be it 1 year, or be it 5 years, whatever. When we will discuss aggregate reporting basics, at that time I'll let you know. So these ICSR cases, whatever you get, we analyze those cases and try to find whether any new information is arising from all those ICSR cases. So that is aggregate reporting. Signal management, it is done side by side along with ICSR. Like suppose if you are getting certain cases which are new, or you can say new side effects to the drug, there will be a red flag for those cases, and then the signal management team comes into the picture, who evaluates those side effect cases. Means like say in a particular month we are getting cases with the let's say paracetamol is the drug, and we are getting a lot of cases reporting jaundice with that. So we will try to evaluate why jaundice is happening with paracetamol, is there any relations and all those things. So that is in a nutshell that signal management team does. After that, there is a risk management plan department. Now what does the risk management plan department does? So once it is established that there is a certain risk or a side effect that is known, or that is established that it is being caused by your drug or your molecule is the causal agent for that drug, then the risk management team comes into the picture, who looks into as to what can be done, how this risk can be minimized, how this risk can be communicated to the prescribers, to the pharmacists, to the patients, so that they are aware that this is the risk associated with the medicine, and what to do if this risk or these signs and symptoms are seen in the patients. So this kind of planning and this kind of education material and everything is developed by the risk management team. So in a nutshell, if you say from the basic point of view, I have given you what is pharmacovigilance all about and what you can do in this field. So as a fresher, you can enter into the ICSR field and start your career into the pharma, this pharmacovigilance. So I'll let you know as to what is ICSR and all in the coming videos. So moving forward, what is the next field? And there is a medical writing field. Medical writing field, basically it means that being a medical person, or you can say having an education into life science, you are more aware with the physiology of the patients, you are more aware about the medical terms that are being used, or how the medical or the diseases, their signs and symptoms and all those things. So you understand the medical language better. So now you are a medical writing field. What you will do, that you will apply your medical knowledge as well as your English grammar knowledge, and other certain things are there, so that you will use and try to prepare a document that is either suitable for submission to the health authorities, or the health authorities like FDA for US, EMA for European region, MHRA for UK. So these departments or these health authorities need certain documents that is prepared by the medical writers. Or you can prepare some scientific abstracts, or you can say manuscripts, articles, or promotional materials, or the medical affairs team which work to prepare doctor's kit, or the abstracts, or the pamphlets that are being used by the PMT team to promote the medicine. So all these kind of writing work is done by the medical writing professionals. So if you are a clinical medical writing professional, then you will be involved in writing the protocols, that is used before getting approval for the clinical studies or human trials. You have to have the protocols ready and get it approved by the health authorities. Clinical study report is there. So once your clinical study is completed, or in between the studies, there are different milestones at which you have to write a preliminary clinical study report. Then a final clinical study report is written once your clinical trial is complete. Then there is investigator brochure. Investigator brochure is basically a document in which all the molecule related information, its anticipated side effects and everything is given, which is used by the investigators of the clinical trials as a handling material to know about the medicine if they want to look after something. So that is the investigator brochure. There is other clinical writing documents also like informed consent form is there. So such kind of you can say medical reports or documents that is used during clinical trials are written by the clinical writing professionals. Scientific writing, as I mentioned, there are manuscripts, abstracts, articles. These are prepared like if you are conducting some clinical trial. So it is a study basically. So whatever data you are getting from time to time, you have to publish them into the peer journals or all those places, or present in the conferences, scientific conferences. So those are done by the scientific writing team who prepares all these things, and the people, the speakers present them into these forums and all. Medical affairs, as I mentioned, they are mainly into the when your medicine is getting launched or when you are looking for some medicine information, then these people do literature search and all. They prepare the material, be it the material to present into the scientific forums, or be it the material to be prepared for the MRs to present before the doctors. So all these things are done by the medical affairs team who do an extensive literature search, and they prepare these kind of medicines. So till now you have seen pharmacovigilance and medical writing, and hope it sounds interesting to you guys, this field, because these are actually very interesting field when you will work into this field. So this is there is one R&D department where people are working into the labs and all. This is, you can say, a dry research kind of departments: pharmacovigilance, medical writing and all, clinical research. So you don't have to go into the lab. All these your laptops will be there, which will help you, and you have to do extensive literature work, extensive writing. So these are the kind of skills you will develop here, and you will gain a you can say in-depth knowledge into the diseases and all. So moving next, clinical research is there, the next field. So clinical research basically you say the clinical studies or the clinical trials that is being conducted is part of the clinical research, in which what happens that the people are working into the clinical study domain. So clinical research is basically the study of whatever clinical trial is ongoing. So what happens, there are different departments in which people are working into the clinical trials. So there is clinical operations, there is data management, there is biostats, there is clinical monitoring, like you have heard about CRAs and all. So to start with clinical operations, so there are the people who are working in clinical operations managing the trial. They can manage it from remote sites, or it could be from you can say on the sites where the clinical trials is ongoing. CRAs and CRMs, they work there day in and day out to maintain whatever protocol you have decided. Like this is the way how the clinical research has to be conducted. So whether it is followed or not followed. Then after clinical operations, there is data management team. So data management team, basically what does they do? Whatever data is arising from the clinical study, be it the lab tests results, be it the patient disease management, sign and symptoms, all this are there is the patient form in which that has to be filled, and then that form has to be as for the pharmacovigilance you have learned, there is a safety database. So the same way we have a clinical database like RAVE is there, Medidata is there, in which all the patient related data or patient characteristics are mentioned into that. So this is the data management, clinical data management team. What does they do? So they bring it to that you can say clinical database or document them into clinical database for further use. Then there is biostatistics teams. So what the biostatistics team, like suppose if you have seen whatever data is there that is feed into the clinical database, from that this biostats team, what do they do? They pull out the information based on certain algorithms or programming, you can say, as to, like, suppose if I want how many patients were enrolled and how many have the side effects and which side effects they had. So this data can be pulled by the biostatistics teams through programming from the clinical databases. Also, this biostatistics team is involved in estimating the doses, or you can say extrapolating the doses. Like, suppose if there is some dose administered into the during the preclinical trials into the animals, then what should be the optimum dose to be used in the human beings. So all this kind of extrapolating of doses and all based on the data is done by biostatistics team. Clinical monitoring, as I mentioned, that they are basically available on the sites, and they day in and day out they look after the clinical trial. How is it being conducted? Is the conduct being done ethically, as we have mentioned? And they document all those things at the clinical trial sites. So CRS is basically working with in close collaboration with the principal investigator who is assigned for that clinical trial. So this is basically the clinical research field, a basic overview as to what is done in this clinical research field. Moving forward, the next field, just a minute, let me forward the slide. So after clinical research, we have regulatory affairs. So whatever study, whatever side effect study, whatever clinical trial study, whatever you are doing, that has to be managed by the regulatory affairs when it comes to taking the either the clinical trial approval or the marketing approval. So there are a set of documents that are being prepared and submitted by the regulatory affairs team to the health authorities, which give you approval regarding this. Like IND submission is there. So why do we do IND submission? We will study all these things in future. But what happens that if there is a IND submission, then it is done to take the approval to start the clinical trial in human beings. So RA department looks after that. They are also in charge as to whether the documents that are being prepared are of good quality and health authority compliant. That has to be submitted. They submit it to the health authority on time. If there is any query from the health authority, then also they look after that and they respond to those queries along with other departments in collaboration. So this is basically the work of regulatory affairs department. This is, you can say, the backbone of pharma industry, and who is regularly involved in or have interaction with the health authorities to keep your medicines safe into the market, to get the medicines approval on time, to get the medicines approval renewal on time. So a lot of work being done by the regulatory affairs department. So this is also a critical department in pharma industry. Moving forward, as I mentioned earlier, that there is intellectual property rights. So as the term said, like suppose if you are an innovator pharma company, you are innovating certain medicines, that medicines proprietary has to be controlled by your organization. So you should have a patent for that. So all these things are taken care by the intellectual property right people, from patent filing to patent protection. And further, if there is any breach in the patent, then they will approach to the concerned authorities and get it raised and resolved. So for this, there are different intellectual property right agents working on this. They do IPR courses and then they start working on this. Then moving forward, these are basically, I can say that overall view of the corporate pharma career jobs where you can look into. Now, depending on your interest area, which suits you, or further when you go through the different slides or different sessions, because I will prepare separate playlist for each department in which I will discuss as to what is the area that you need. Like in the slide being presented, you see how to enter into this field. So I'll teach you the basic concept required as a fresher as to what should you know, what should be your basic understanding to enter in different fields. So I'll make a playlist, like there will be pharmacovigilance playlist, there will be clinical research playlist, regulatory affairs playlist. So based on those playlist courses, I hope you will have a basic understanding of all these departments so that you can crack the interview. But only thing is that you have to focus on the concepts that is being covered in those playlists, so that you are well aware about the concepts before landing into any interview. And there are many walk-ins, or you will get the notifications We will also keep on placing the freshers vacancies, walk-ins and all those things where you can go and attend the interview. And if you have the basic knowledge as mentioned in different videos, upcoming videos, you will be easily able to qualify the interview, and then you can. One thing I'll tell you for sure here, assurance that you will get quality knowledge here. And I would request, you have done your graduation, post graduation, you have invested a lot, or you have done a lot of hard work to complete those things. So now don't fall into trap of the people who are doing all these crash courses, or you can say clinical research courses, or all these things, because they are charging hefty amount to the people, and they are just leaving you nowhere. They will give also certain concepts, but basically I'll teach here what is the experience. First try these things. If you are not satisfied with this, if you after attending all these sessions and you attend certain interviews, 2, 3, 4 interviews, and if you feel that it is not working for you, then if you have any doubt in mind, you can attend those courses if you want. But first learn all these things from here. This is the same thing they will teach you. In fact, they will teach you lesser thing only. We are the experienced people here who are working day in and day out, and we will try to give you the best that we have learned till now. So hope you have got the concept as to what are the fields in which you can go into the pharma related domain. And now we will cover in coming videos separate. I'll start first with the PV, and then we will move usually into the next career fields also, but everything will be covered here. There will be separate playlist for each department. Accordingly, you can learn. Most of them are correlated. You will understand how the things are there. We will teach you the practical things so that you can land into the interview and get it qualified and start your career in this field. So thank you everybody for listening this session, and now I'm signing off for today. We will meet again with the first lesson of pharmacovigilance in the playlist. Thank you very much. Have a great day ahead.